Hey folks, welcome to the channel, and I've talked enough already about how complicated things will get once 3.24.2 releases. It's any moment now, and we're losing a bunch of things already. Some ships are getting nerfed to the ground. The Corsair specifically would be one of the worst victims of this greedy agenda of CIG, and there's a bunch of others, but there are a few exceptions, and there are a couple ships that have actually benefited, and that's one of the ships you're looking at right now, the Mercury Star Runner. A long-time favorite, not because of how capable it is, no, simply because of how it looks. As superficial as that sounds, as hollow as that is, well, this is a hollow game. There is no progression, there's no persisting in anything you do here. It's mostly about time sinks and just, flying around and trying to make your own fun as you go. As you go nowhere, because that's maybe one of the biggest problems. But with all of that in mind, with all of that considered, one of the best ships you have is the MSR. Why? Well, because it does the few things that you can actually benefit from pretty well. First of all, it looks good. It looks pretty cool. It's a cool looking ship. No one argues against that. And the rule of cool applies specially to Star Citizen, given that looking good is the only thing we actually have. In terms of guns, we have a couple turrets, one there on the top, there's another there in the bottom. So if you are one of the extremely few people that actually do any kind of multiplayer, well, you can put people on those things and shoot down a few ships here and there. And you have a couple of pilot control guns. The attrition ones seem to be the best ones right now. Those are 2 size 3, which is barely enough guns to do any kind of bounty. But at the same time, one of the big advantages that this ship gets with the new patch is size 3 shield. Yes, you're no longer stuck with size 2. No, you're gonna have a size 3 shield, and that makes it a lot better for taking damage. There's still kind of anemic hull HP, but the shield, the shield will do very well. The shield is gonna be a huge bonus on the ship. And there's also the point of how this ship does better now because everything else does so poorly. If we consider the ships that have been nerfed, if we consider the ships that are taking a lot of diminishing, mostly because of master modes and how unappealing combat is right now in general, you're probably not going to do a whole lot of combat, are you? You're going to be doing more of what? What is it? Cargo running? Well, if you're going to do a little bit of cargo running, this has 114 SE of cargo. It's not the best, not the worst. At the same time, the more cargo you do, the more time you waste filling up something and making it more likely to get pirated, ganked, griefed. So you're mostly doing things for fun or just for killing time, which, as sad as it sounds, that's what this game has become. There's very little excitement going on. There's not the amount of fun we had when running drugs, those weevil legs with a shit ton of money to be made and go buy some new ship. All of that is gone, and all you have now is building Tetris blocks with your robot Atlas in one place or another. And if that's what you want to do, you can get your Atlas in there, right? I don't know if the ship has a tractor beam. Let me know in the comments. I don't even remember. I think it doesn't. Does the MSR have a tractor beam? I don't think it does. You could use one of the many options available for moving boxes that fascinate. But hey, anyway, as I'm saying, you're not going to be doing a whole lot of combat because it's honestly boring right now. And there's no reward, so why? And what little you will do, this ship is now capable of taking it, right? A little bit of cargo, yeah. But most of all, what you see there in the back, and that's where I want to eventually get in. But first of all, let's take a look at the MSR in case you're not familiar with it, and I'll show you a couple things that have changed, yes, recently on the inside. So we have these fuses now all over. This is going to be the new fun thing to do, is grab something and place it somewhere else in your ship. Oh yeah, that is super exciting. Well, that's what we have there. Then you have these gun racks. These are the older gun racks, but hey, you have 4 of these. It would have been nice to have some of the small guns. It would have been nice to see any kind of updating CIG for those backers that have been so loyal to you. Yes, and treated so poorly. You did take the time to put a fire extinguisher, which I guess we have to appreciate, and more fuses, because that's what ships need these days. It would have been very nice to see an elevator somewhere here. That would have been appreciated by the community that was so loyal to you buying these expensive ships so as to back you, Chris. We have 4 more gun racks here, which, nice, that's going to be okay. And then you have the habs. These actually, yeah, you can log out on these beds somewhat okay. It's not going to be as fluid as in others, but yeah, you do have 3 beds. And you have one of the prettiest recreation rooms, break rooms in the game, which looks very Star Wars like. Again, it would have been nice, it would have been appreciated to see a little bit of love for the community by making these open, right? It was Chris, it's just a couple hours, man. Just a couple hours. Get some dude to put one of the blocks here with an actual fridge that opens. That's all we ask at this point. Look how little we ask, how little we still get. Hey, you can play chess though, right? That's something that you have there. And that's gonna be all for now. It would have been nice to have that and to have some food stocked already there, like in this C8R. That's always nice to have. Okay, yeah. And then we get to the most pointless part of this all, which is the, well, these are turrets. Seats? Yeah, so you have the turrets here. But then you have the scanning room. This is so desperately needing an update or some proper game loop. How difficult is it? Guys, it is, again, it is just 1 hour. 1 hour of programming, making it so that you just get close to a space station, or you just land on a city or on a base. You click on something on your ship so as to start downloading or uploading, and that is it. That's cargo running. That's the data running. I mean, it could be made so as to be able to use any computer of any ship to move around a small amount of data so as to make that available to the entire community. Yeah, and then just have a button here where, yes, I can download or upload a ton of data, and I make a nice bit more money than with an average ship, just because I have the data running ship. One of the many data running ships. Maybe you can go along with size as well. Size 1, size 2, size 3, larger ships would have larger computers, so you would be able to do a little bit more data running. But the dedicated data running computers, those would give you like 15, 20k. You know, any amount, the more distance you travel, the more it is fucking nothing. It is just a couple hours. They don't do it because they don't want you to have that gameplay. They could do it in a heartbeat if they wanted, but they don't want. Why? Because instead of you using the ship you have, they want you to go and focus your energy, your thoughts, your wallet, mostly on buying something else. Despicable, but hey, it is CIG after all. And finally, we have the back here where here is the big thing. This is again why this ship is so much better than some of the ones, than the Zeus. The Zeus is shit. It's crap. You don't have size 3 shields. You have 2 size 4 guns instead of size 3s, but still, shitty guns, even shittier shield, and you cannot get Ursa Medical. The Ursa Medical will be available in-game now, so you will be able to buy this thing in-game. You will be able to park it in your MSR like I just did there. You still have a little bit of room for some looting, some bunker running. You know, you just take one of these, you store some of your stuff, given that we lost the ship inventory now. And yeah, even one here, I've done that. It's not logged to the grid, but it stays there quite nicely. You never had one of those fall off. So you can leave a 1 or 2 SU box here for the bunkers and moving around, and you have your Ursa Medical to respawn. You just come here, go to the computer, set your new spawn location here, right? And that's it. When you die, and this is so far pretty reliable, you die and you respawn here, which is super convenient, right? It is very nice. How much room do you have here? Storage? It's so bad. So horrible. So yeah, a little bit of storage there. Where else? Well, you have a gun rack here. Deploy weapon rack. So you do have that. But most of all, you have a vehicle that you can move around, and you have a respawn point, which is a huge deal. This setup that you see here is ideal for the limited game that we have now, in which you mostly do maybe a little bit of cargo here and there just for kicks, shits and giggles. Mostly, it is a ship that allows you to not waste time respawning every single time. A little bit of bunker crawling and checking things out, exploring a little bit if you're new to the game and there's anything worth exploring for you, and just fucking around. You don't have anything else to do in this game at this point, and for that fucking around gameplay that we have to settle with, well, this actually is not a bad option. It's actually much better than the Zeus they're now trying to sell you. Guys, see you later. Take care.